Welcome back to Fast Track Finance with Bronte. Now, I wanted to dedicate some time to a series called Private Equity Technicals. And each video will be addressing a new technical concept which really forms the backbones of private equity in practice. Today's topic are dividend recaps. And this is particularly prevalent in today's environment of a lack of liquidity, where GPs are becoming increasingly innovative to distribute interim cash flows to LPs or liquidity to LPs, even if they aren't able to make full exits. It's also a way to increase the internal rate of return because you're locking in some of the return before you can fully exit the asset. So what does this mean mechanically? So when a GP does a dividend recap, what it means is they're raising incremental debt, which they're essentially paying immediately back out to their equity holders via a cash distribution. So they can go either to their existing lenders or perhaps new lenders and raise incremental net debt. So say they had new debt. So say they had 4x leverage on the business, they may be able to go out and raise an additional 1x to bring the gross debt multiple to 5x. So what does that mean in terms of my financials of debt, cash, and equity? Well, starting with debt, say I raise an additional 100 million of debt, my balance sheet debt level will rise by 100 million. My cash will actually remain unchanged because as soon as it is brought into the business, it is immediately distributed back out to equity holders. Now, in terms of equity, it's slightly nuanced. So retained earnings will actually decrease by 100, which will impact my equity. But at the same time, equity holders have received that 100 million of cash. So while it looks lower on the balance sheet, it is in fact reflected later on when you calculate the return on investment, because not only will they be eventually distributed the equity of the company when it is sold, but they will also need to include the 100 million interim distribution which has been made to LPs, say in year 1 or year 2, depending on when they have decided to do the dividend recap within the hold period. So I hope that gives you some idea around why a GP may wish to do a dividend recap, what that means for the debt holders. Some debt holders may be opposed to this because they're essentially just raising new debt to pay this straight out to equity holders instead, which could make their debt riskier for their existing holdings. What this means for the financials, and also what this means for the returns in terms of locking in an IRR and having an interim distributions. Follow along and let me know if you would like any core technical sections covered in the following videos.